Mr. Mafu, I think your mic is muted.
Oh, okay. All right. I hope it's okay now.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
My name is Mr. Edward Mafu, and I am the General Secretary of YEC. Now, this evening, let me welcome all of us honorable members onto this important conference call. As you are aware of, this forms part of our series of training sessions to get us equipped for both the program and our upcoming inauguration on the 3rd of May, this coming May, Saturday. So, as you're already privy to, Parliament, as we know it, have rules and regulations. Parliament operates based on rules and regulations. Individuals can have their opinions, all right, but then it's the rules of engagement that matters. So tonight we will dive into the first session or the first part of it, and then afterwards we also look at others. But let me issue this disclaimer that your learning on parliamentary business practically is going to be a lifelong one. It's one of the things that you will never get used to so much of, because that is what you'll be using. And each and every day, a portion of it will pop up and you have to familiarize yourself with it. So before we start, I will encourage you to peruse your standing orders. That is your operational document. Read it. If you find questions, always ask, and the rest. All right, so that you know exactly that what is happening is the right thing. It's not people are cooking approach to issues and the rest. So thank you for your time. Now we're also recording it. So in case you lose track of anything, it's being recorded and it's also being streamed on YouTube as well. Now this evening, with me is Honorable Raphael Kumako, who is the head of administrations and finance at YEC. Mr. Raphael have been with us from the inception of the consortium. And along the line, he's been the person that have been training us on parliamentary business. All right, so tonight, he's still going to be the one to take us through this training. Aside that, I saw Honorable Joseph Boachajima, the programs director with us. I don't know if he's still around. Yes, he's also here. Honorable Joseph, if you can hear me, can you unmute your microphone and just give us a wave or so, so that we can continue?
Hello, yes, I can hear you. I'm around.
Okay, all
Good
right.
evening to you all.
Yes, good evening. So when most of my schedules are done, possibly he will be the one communicating in-house and the rest will be the one doing most of the communications and the activities. We also have Honorable Solomon Kwabna Osei, who is also our director at the Center for Climate Change and Energy Policies and the rest. And then we also have a few of our leaders too. A few of our leaders amongst us. Honorable Raphael, if you can hear me and your screen is still active, kindly take the floor, unmute your microphone, take the floor, and then let's start. We are 70 in number now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Good evening to all of us, and good evening to honorable members on the call. Yes, I hope my voice is okay.
It's okay at my end.
Okay, that's wonderful. So this evening, my name is Honorable Raphael Kumako, as been introduced. So we're going to go through few things pertaining to parliamentary business, and then at the end of the day, we'll allow for questions, and then we can address them. Last Saturday, there was an encounter with the General Secretary. So the structure of YEC, what YEC does, and pertaining to the inauguration, the upcoming inauguration, all those things have been discussed last Saturday. So my duty today is to go through few things with you. Then we'll go through the standing orders extensively, look at the things in the standing orders, how we can use it during our debate. When we go to the floor of parliament, things that we have to do or things that we have to say. Then we end with some questions and answers. So by way of introduction, uh, there are three arms of government, as we know. That's the executive, that's headed by the president. Then we have the judiciary, headed by the chief justice. Then we have the legislative arm or the legislature, which is headed by the speaker. But the 1992 constitution as we have today, if you look at Article 93, that talks about the need to be a parliament. That is, there shall be a parliament of Ghana which consists of not less than 140 members. And the duty of this parliament is legislature. So legislative powers are vested in parliament. But then the current parliament or the fourth Republican parliament that we've had since 92 up to date is not the fresh or the first time that we've had parliament or legislature. So legislative duties or council have been in session since colonial time. So as far back as 1850, we had our first legislative council. That the main focus was just to advise the governor on law making. So their duty was only on advisory, not as we see today that parliament is in charge of making law or enacting laws. Those days they used to just perform advisory role. So since 1850, then down to 1925 during Governor Gordonsburg's time, to 1947 during Alamba's time, where there was election of majority of the legislative council members. Then we came to the 1951 with the constitution in there, where a first speaker or a Ghanaian speaker was elected to the legislative council in the person of Sir Charles Emmanuel Quist was the first speaker to be elected in 1951. Then 1957, then we adopted the Westminster kind of parliamentary system where Kwame Nkrumah was the prime minister. Then we have the parliamentary system as practice. Then 1960, where 10 women were elected to join parliament so that they can experience parliamentary life. Then we came to the 1966 to 1969 during the military rule. So in and out of every republic, we have the legislature, but the name keep on changing. So it was to be it used to be the Legislative Council, became the Legislative Assembly, then became the National Assembly. Then finally we have what we practice now as the legislature or the parliament, as inscribed in the 1992 Constitution, specifically Article 93. So this is just by way of introduction. So currently, if you look at Parliament, we have 266 members of Parliament as we speak now. There, where you have the breakdown, NDC have 183, MPP have 88, and then we have 4 independent candidates. So if we put all this together, we currently looking at 126 members of the current parliament as we have. Now, to represent the various constituencies. And we hope that you are going to discharge your duties as dutiful as it is. Now, before we go to the standing orders, this is a brief structure of the YEC administration, where we have the General Secretary, you have Director of Finance and Administration, then you have Director of Programs. Then beneath them, we have the administrative leaders at the block level or the regional levels if it applies. So this is basically the structure of YEC leadership. Now let's look at the structure of Parliament, the structure of Parliament or the leadership structure of Parliament. We have the Speaker, which is the leader of the House. Then we have the Deputy Speakers, the first deputy and then the second deputy. So when we go to the standing orders, we'll talk about them briefly. They have the table office. Then you have your majority leader, you have your minority leader, you have their deputies, then you have the whips, and then have the members as follows. The same thing that applies in the national parliament, the same thing applies in your parliament, as we will be seeing soon. Now, when you go to parliament, there are various documents that are very key in parliament. But among all the documents, these are the very key ones that we want to look at. Order paper is one. The Hansard is another one. Votes and proceedings is another one. And then the standing orders. The standing orders is also a key document. And anything that Parliament does have to find itself in the standing orders. Though the Constitution, the 1992 Constitution is supreme, but if you look at the Constitution critically, in Article 110, it gives Parliament the chance to create standing orders to govern its operations in Parliament. So though the Constitution have captured some of the activities or procedures that Parliament needs to undertake, but the Constitution also have given Parliament the power to enact standing orders for themselves. So this is a key document that governs the operations. So we'll be looking at the standing orders of year as well as we go on. But before that, we want to look at what is order paper, what parliamentary Hansard is, votes and proceedings, and then we'll delve into the standing orders proper. Okay. Then an order paper. I say order paper. The order paper is a paper which business of the day of legislative assembly, that is parliament, is entered. So order paper is basically the paper that the addendum is on. So it states from the beginning, the opening prayer, everything that needs to be done, it is in the order paper. So this order paper, it appears in the order in which it have to be done. And the items or the business that is entered on the order paper is determined by the business committee of Parliament, which when you go to our standing orders, you will know the composition of the business committee. So they meet and then they decide on which business to transact on each day or on each sitting days. And these transactions are entered on a paper, and that paper is shared to members. That is called the order paper. Now, if you go to the order 38 of our standing orders, it gives you the details there. So you look at order 38 and then order 54, it gives you details. So as we're looking at standing orders, we'll be looking at that briefly as well. So on my screen, you could see a sample of an order paper. This is how it is written. So the title, the order paper, and then which session of Parliament, the date to come, and then the business will follow. So before the commencement of public business, this is how the National Parliament order paper captures theirs. Then this is how the order paper look like. So order 55, order 54, when you look at it, it says these are the structures. Now, all these things does not necessarily need to appear on the order, on each order paper. The ones that appear are the ones that the business committee have decided that it is the business that will be transacted on the day. So when you go for a sitting and you take an order paper, it is likely you may not see all these things on it, all these items on it. Like you see prayers, you are likely not to see oath, but for our sitting in May, you are likely to see oath because there will be oaths that members need to take before they can become full members of the House. Then the General Secretary's address, message, if the General Secretary is not available, but communicate a message to the Speaker, then that message will come, a formal communication by the Speaker, introduction of Deputy Speakers if they are around, if there are ceremonial speeches, then you come to the correction of vote and proceedings, then statements by speakers and ministers, presentation. So these are the items that normally appears on the order paper. And when you take our standing orders, order 54 specifically, you will see all the things that appears in it. And in the same standing orders, they are stated that as practicable as it is, within 48 hours, the clerk to parliament needs to serve honorable members with an order paper before the meeting. So before we go for the May sitting, definitely the clerk of parliament will serve you with order paper before. Then the next document that we want to look at is what is called Hansard, what is called a Parliamentary Hansard. Now, this is an official report by Parliament. Official report by Parliament. So the Hansard is a translation of parliamentary debate, and that is recorded. Now, this is more recorded strictly by verbatim. So if an honorable member makes a statement, the full statement will be captured as made by the honorable member and will be in this record, the Parliamentary Hansard. The full statement. So everything, if the speaker says a prayer, if it needs to be captured, it will be captured verbatim as it is stated. The only modifications that can be done is maybe words that are repeating and obvious grammar, obvious corrections. So, for example, the person is referring to a male, but being captured it as a female. Then that one there will be a correction, but even with the consent from the one who made the statement. So the Hansard, also when you take the Parliamentary Hansard and you need a record of anything and you take the Parliamentary Hansard, you get as the person says the things verbatim, nearly very strictly by verbatim. That's a Parliamentary Hansard. So it's not like the minute book that the major points are summarized and no. It's not like the vote and proceedings, but this is the official report that captures everything verbatim. Then the next document, that is the vote and proceedings. Now, this vote and proceedings is like the minute book. So those of us who have been secretaries before, you go for a meeting, and you have to record minutes. And minutes are mostly not recorded verbatim. So the key points are stated, or the key points are captured. And then if actions are taken, those actions are recorded in it. So if you look at the example we have on the screen, for example, the House met at 11 o'clock in the 4th. 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 11 o'clock in the 4th then prayer were read. Then so, but if this is supposed to be a parliamentary Hansard, this won't capture just like prayer was read, but the prayer that was read will be captured here. Then say a roll call was conducted, then followed by those who are present and those things. So it will go on to mention that this honorable member says A, B, C, D. But when you go to the vote and the parliamentary answer, it will capture everything that was said verbatim. So mostly it captures the parliamentary, mostly it captures the debates and the statements that are made by people. Please, honorable members, those who are writing on the screen, it is making this thing a bit not nice. This thing is being recorded and will be shared. So please stop writing on the screen. Thank you very much. So this is an example of the vote and proceedings. So these are some of the key documents. So we look at the order paper, which is like the paper in which the agenda is on, to the list of the items that will be the business that will be transacted in each sitting is recorded on it. Then you have the parliamentary Hansard, that's the official reports of the House that normally captures the statement and debate by honorable members verbatim. They have the votes and proceedings, that's a minute book. So for every sitting, the vote and proceedings of the previous sitting will be corrected before the business of the day will be carried on. Now, standing order. Somebody will ask, what is the standing order? So these are written rules that regulate the proceedings of Parliament. And as I mentioned earlier on, these are not just documents that come into being in the vacuum. They have its roots in Parliament in the 1992 Constitution. So if you look at the Constitution, that's the 1992 Constitution, Article 110, that's Article 110. It says, subject to the provisions of this Constitution, Parliament may, by standing orders, regulate its own proceedings or its own procedure. So the Constitution also gives Parliament the opportunity to come out with orders that governs its operations. So from the first thing that happens in Parliament to the last thing that happened in the House, from election of the Speaker to the dissolution of the House, everything is captured in the standing orders. So where an action or activity is not explicitly captured in the standing orders and is not also in the Constitution, then the standing orders and the Constitution give the powers to the Speaker to use his or her discretion to moderate those activities. So we want to look at the standing orders of FIEC. We won't go into the national parliament standing orders that much because we need to know the standing orders of FIEC and we can use that. So for the purpose of that, I want to open our standing orders so that we can go through some few of the provisions and continue. So this is the standing orders of FIEC. As you see the title. So the standing orders of the Youth Model Parliament of the Youth Empowerment Consortium of the Republic of Ghana. So this is the standing orders. Earlier on, our General Secretary was advising or encouraging us to make it an operational document. So as much as possible, let's read, understand the things so that when you go to the floor, when you're on the floor of Parliament, nobody throws dust into your eyes. Or you can be bold and you know what you are talking about, or when you're making orders or you are coming out with motions or you are making statements, you can stand on the right orders and then make your point. So briefly, it is divided into parts, and we have part one, two, and the rest. Then each part talk about specific things. So the preliminary part, the name of the order, the implies the suspension, the amendment, the interpretation. So we look at order 5. This order shall be interpreted by the speaker as deemed fit. So where clear provisions are not made, it's the duty of the speaker to make a clear declaration or interpretation that he or she deemed fit. Then order 8 just is a definition or interpretation of some key terms when it comes to Parliament. I'll leave those ones for us to go and then read extensively. So I'll continue from order 9 to look at order 9 to talk about precedence in Parliament. So the Speaker, as I said earlier on, is the leader of the House, or so the House belongs to the Speaker. So the Speaker is the highest in terms of the order. Then you have the first deputy, second deputy speakers. You have your majority leader, minority leader. You have their deputies. You have your whip. Then you have the deputy, first deputy whips, and then the second deputy whips. So if you look at it, the majority leader and minority leader are on the same level. The deputy minority and the deputy majority leaders are also on the same level. So the deputy majority leader cannot be higher than the minority leader. It doesn't work like that. So this is the precedence in Parliament. So let's take note of that. Then order 10. Order 10 talk about the selection of speaker and the deputy speaker, and then their oath. So earlier on, I saw some people on the platform declaring their intentions, or some people were asking questions, positions that they can apply for and the rest. But when the right time comes, there will be clear communication on what to do and what not to do. So this is the brief about the selection of a speaker. So there shall be a speaker to each of the youth model parliaments. Okay? And then that person needs to be qualified to be a member of parliament before he can be a speaker. And that person, once nominated, will have to be approved by YEC or YEC Directorate. Then the procedure, that's order 11. So YEC Directorate shall lead and determine the procedure of selection and election of the speaker, the national speaker, and the regional speakers, if there is any. They shall follow nomination made by members of the House. YEC Directorate shall vet nominees presented by the caucus, and then emphasis shall be placed on experience. So having served in a similar role in other youth parliament or this very youth parliament. So because if you are a speaker, you need to have some kind of experience. That's why we have these provisions in the order. Then it goes on to talk about how each caucus have to nominate a candidate. And if each of the caucuses nominate a candidate, they will go for election. But if all the caucus leaders meet and decide that, okay, they will allow one person to go and make the other the vice or whatever, when they reach an agreement, then that agreement will hold. Then after the election of the speaker, then there will be oaths that will be taken by the speaker. That's order 12. Then when the speaker is absent, then goes on to talk about how the new speaker will be elected. So that's order 13. We should take our time and then really understand those things. Then talk about selection of the deputy speakers. Basically, the rule applying for the selection of the speaker will also be observed when it comes to the deputy speakers. So I'll jump some of the others so that we can also read them on your phone. So order 15 talk about absence of the speaker, where formal communication needs to be done. Then I look at order 16. So our main May meeting or the sitting on May, these are some of the things or one of the key things that will be done. So oath by member, though you have been elected by your constituent or your fellow youth to represent a constituency, you are not yet a full member of the youth parliament until you are sworn in and you have taken the oath. So when we meet in May, the oaths will be taken. That's on the system. But the shadows are in appendix B of the standing B and 1 and 3 of the standing orders. So we'll go and look at it. Now let's look at order 20, where we look at some of the rules of the officers, starting with the speaker. So the speaker at all levels shall be the first officer of the house. He or she preside over all sittings in the house, and in his or her absence, one of the deputies will take the seat. So how the deputy take the seat is also communicated in this order. The sitting, when the sitting is ongoing, the speaker can invite any of the deputies or the first deputy speaker to take the seat without further communication to the house. The same way, if the first deputy speaker is also busy or want to leave, can also call the second deputy speaker to come and take the seat. And when the speaker is out, is unavoidably absent, cannot discharge his duty at that moment, then a formal communication has to come from the office of the clerk to members that the first deputy speaker will take the seat. So that one is also captured in the standing orders, which the speaker is the chairperson of the youth model parliamentary secretariat at all levels. He exercises unquestionable power and discretion on issues that come into deadlocks or of the order of the house. So where there are confusions or dilemma, it is the duty of the speaker to come in and clear the issues. The speaker may also issue statements on matters of national interest or any issue that is deemed necessary to bring to the attention of the House. The Speaker does not vote or does not debate in any matter. That's why if you read the provisions in the order, immediately the Speaker is sworn in, the Speaker loses his or her seat. Then the duties of the first deputy speaker and the second deputy speaker. So in the absence of the speaker, the first deputy presides. In the absence of the speaker and the first deputy, the second deputy presides. So they perform those duties as the speaker when the speaker is not available. Then the majority leader is the leader of the majority caucus. Then he leads his caucus to debate and deliberation in the House, take other functions required of him by the speaker, the member of the majority caucus who is in good standing and have the relevant experience. So in all these matters, before you become a majority leader or the minority leader, you have to go through vetting, and this vetting will be conducted by their directorate. So as the time approaches, if you look at our timelines, as the time is approaching, uh, the programs office or the general secretary's office will communicate all these things to honorable members. So there's no need to rush when the time is due to be put on your platform, and then you can vie for the various positions as you want it. And then the whips. The whips, it is their duty to influence the voting pattern of their members or to shift their members in line to their caucus decision. So that of the whips. Then I'll straightforward jump to order 35. Look at order 35. Some of the things you have to read on your own and understand. And since this is not a polling meeting that we're going to have, our next training will touch on some of the other things. Now, order 35 talk about the clerk. So there should be a clerk and then 2 deputies and a marshal. Marshal will be appointed under the authority of the consortium in consultation with the parliamentary secretariat. So very soon, those clerks will be made known to you, so that I can deal with them. Then the marshal is an officer that will be appointed and have the duty to bear the mace before the speaker when entering and leaving the house, attend upon the speaker, and to safeguard the house to ensure that there's safety and security in the house. So this is also another position that will be available for honorable members who may be very interested. So I'll take order 80 to 90, 91 to 98, and then I'll take 96 and then 105. Then we can bring our discussion to an end, and then we take a few questions. There are a lot of things in the standing orders that honorable members you need to read, you need to know about, so that when you go for sittings, you understand everything that happens on the floor, or even when you are watching national parliament on TV, or have the opportunity to visit and you are seeing what they are doing, then you can understand some of the things. Since on the day of the inauguration, we'll be debating, we want to look at some of the rules pertaining to debates. So the speaker or the deputy speakers and the leaders of the house are referred to by their names. The officer held by them. So all members are referred to as honorable together with the name of the person. So for example, if I want to refer to Mr. Bache Ajiman Joseph, I can say that Honorable Joseph Bache Ajiman, or I can say that Honorable member for this constituency. So I mentioned the person's constituency. But in a case where you've already referred to that honorable member's name already in the same speech, then you can describe the person as my honorable friend, or the honorable gentleman, or the honorable lady, or the honorable member. But the first of all, you can address the person by name in attach, so you attach the honorable. But when you want to refer to the speaker, then you can refer to the speaker as the right honorable speaker. But in your delivery, if you already refer to the speaker as the right honorable speaker, subsequently you can just refer to him or her as Mr. Speaker. Then you can continue with your debate. So that's order 80. Then order 81 talk about there shall be no raising of hands, no clapping of hands, no whistling, no yelling, or any form of noise in the house when the house is in session. So let's take note of this. So that's why in the house, on the floor of parliament, you don't hear people clapping their hands or raising their hands. So you don't see the whistling. Though the small form of heckling it makes the sitting beautiful, but when you overdo it, then it becomes noise. Then order 82, no conjecture, speculation, or any form of forged information will be accepted in the house during debate. During this order, for example, we are making a statement and then you make reference to a quote or make reference to a fact, but you fail to provide a source of what you are quoting or the facts that you want to present. If you are not able to provide a source, then it is assumed that you forged that information and it can be accepted in the house. I hope honorable members are taking note of these things. Then order 83 talk about no member is allowed to deviate from the order paper or the order of proceedings in the House. So what we are discussing that the business committee have put on the order paper and have shared with the clerk. The clerk have shared with the honorable members, and I have been accepted to use on the day. You can't deviate from it. Anytime you deviate from the order paper or what's been discussed, then you are out of order. So somebody, an honorable member or the speaker, can bring you to order or draw attention to that. All honorable members are distanced from all form of verbal or physical assault in the House. So we should take note of that. No member shall speak more than once to any business before the floor or for debate. But there are exceptions to this. So in the case of a mover of a substantive motion, when you move a substantive motion and somebody make a statement, you have the opportunity to reply to that person, or you have the opportunity to readdress the misconceptions that come out of maybe your motion. But that one, you're allowed to make statements more than once. Or any member may second a motion or amendment by raising in its place and saying, Mr. Speaker, I beg to second the motion. So without prejudice to this right to the speaker at the latter part period of the debate. So if you rise to accept or second the motion, it is not assumed that you have spoken. So when the time is come for debate on that motion, you have the opportunity to speak. So that's what this order is talking about, order 85A. And then 85B talk about a member a member who has spoken may again be heard for the purposes of explaining some material part of the speech. So you made a statement, but you were misunderstood. Then there's misunderstanding, then you can speak again on the same issue by addressing the misunderstanding, but you cannot introduce a new matter. So please, let's take note of all these things. And then the C, the mover of motion or amendment may speak in support of it, but subject to the provisions of this order. No further debate shall be allowed until the motion or amendment has been seconded. So if you follow proceedings on the floor of Parliament, when a motion is moved, the motion needs to be seconded before it is open for debate. Any motion that is moved and is not seconded cannot go for debate. That's what this order is talking about. Then we talk about order 86. Any member who rises to speak shall have the floor to speak only when he or she catches the eye of the speaker, and the speaker gives him the floor to speak. So you can rise the whole day. If you don't catch the speaker's eye, you can't talk or you can't speak. So let's take note of that. To any member who defies rules of debate or deviates from the order paper shall be called to order by the speaker or a member of the House, as I stated earlier on. So that's a lot you can read. There are a lot about debates there that you can read about. So let's look at order. So order 81, order 91, no member may speak on a question after same has been put by the speaker. So once the speaker go for the voice vote, no member speak on that motion or that issue again, unless you come in with a substantive motion to challenge the ruling or the decision of the speaker. And then members shall not read newspapers or periodics or books in the chamber of the House. When debate is done, then you see, or like during debate, see people sitting and reading their newspaper. It's not allowed on the floor of Parliament when there's a session. The reading of speech by members. A member shall not read his speech. So those that have been given you, maybe you give a debate topic to, and then you go and sit down and write a whole speech. You can't come and read a speech on the floor of Parliament, but you may read extracts from your written or printed speech, or you can refresh your memory by referring to your notes. But you can't come and stand and then read the speech from A to Z. It's not allowed, or it is unparliamentary. And as I said earlier on, the speaker does not take part in debates. Then these are the interruptions of debate. A debate might be interrupted by a point of order being raised, and somebody will ask, how does the point of order raised? When somebody is speaking and you have a point of order, you can rise, and when you catch the speaker's eye, the speaker will call you and then ask you and then say you are standing on the point of order. Or better still, because if you are not on the leadership bench, you may not catch the speaker's eye. Whatever issue or that you have, you can pass it through the whip and probably get to the leader, that the majority or the minority leader. Anytime they stand, they catches the speaker's eye. So the speaker may ask them, and then maybe they will also in turn refer to you that the speaker should allow you to raise a point of order or something. So it's done like that. So these are the times that the debate can be interrupted when there's a point of order being raised, a matter of privilege suddenly arise, or an attention be drawn to absence of the quorum. So what is the quorum? That's the required number that is acceptable or is by law acceptable for a business to be transacted. Or another point where debate can be interrupted is by attention being called to the presence of a stranger. So in the new parliament, standing orders of the national parliament, that is being used currently, they define a stranger as someone who is not an honorable member. The person is not a vice president, is not a president, is not a chief justice, is not a minister or deputy speaker, or is not a chairman or chairperson of any independent constitutional body. That person found in the floor of parliament or the chambers aside the public gallery is a stranger. So take note of this. So in the presence, when there's a presence of a stranger in the house, then the debate can be interrupted so that the stranger can be moved before the continuation. So as I said earlier on, no member shall interrupt any other member except by raising to a point of order. That is a point of order as I earlier on talked about. So we take note of that and then pay attention so that you don't rudely interrupt debate. Since we'll be having another session, I want to talk about the last order, that's order 105. Then we can bring today's discussion to an end, and then we take some questions and then we'll end. Okay. Now, order 105 talk about dressing. So let's pay particular attention to this. Dressing to a sitting shall especially be for males a shirt, a material trousers, and tie, or a decent African wear. Let's take note of that. For females, preferably non-prerogative and official attire made up of materials or a decent African wear. Okay. Then, where the dressing style of an honorable member is deemed intimidating or arousing undue attention to an honorable member, the attention of the speaker shall be drawn to the situation and shall in like manner make a decision to that effect. So that's when the speaker also thinks that your addressing is unparliamentary, then a decision needs to be taken. And the decision that needs to be taken is in the standing order. So look at it soon. So the D of order 105 says, jeans or slippers of any kind shall not be tolerated at sittings unless such is in conformity to general acceptable norms, practice, or ethics of the Ghanaian society, or an express permission is sought from the speaker and read to the House. But we know that in our Ghanaian society, there is nowhere that jeans and slippers is an acceptable norm or practice in any of our society. So please, jeans and slippers are not allowed in the chambers or in the official formal city. So you take note of that. So, when an honorable member flouts in the above dress code, the speaker shall reserve the absolute right to, in a reasonable time span, excuse the member in question to cover up his or her nakedness and return. So when you dress unparliamentary, you are referred to as being naked. You are parliamentary naked. So the speaker may give you some time, reasonable time, to go and change or to cover it up and then return. Failure on the part of the honorable member to comply with the above, he or she shall be referred to the Privileges Committee for appropriate sanctions. So this is the dressing or the dress code for official business. The honorable members will take note of that. So on this note, I bring today's brief presentation to a close. I thank you all for your attention, and then we'll take questions if there are any. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Honorable Raphael. If my audio is okay, kindly give me an emoji or a thumbs up so that we start picking questions for clarity and the rest.
Yes, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So just as we did the last time, again, thank you very much, Honorable Raphael, for the presentation and the training. As he mentioned, there will be more for us to get it as well. So today we will also pick some questions, just as we did the last time. If you have a question, you raise up your hand. I will then mention your name and then you unmute your microphone and then ask your question. Be brief and go straight to the point so that you can just come in, answer it for us to move on. Thank you very much. So, yes, network has always been an issue. However, this was recorded too. So, Honorable, take note of that. So we start with Honorable Ruben Adiko. Your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, am I audible enough?
Yes, you are. You are audible.
Okay, thank you. Once again, my name is Honorable Ruben Adiku, representing Senate East constituency. Thank you very much. Once again, I thank the presenter. I want to ask a question on Order 82 of the Standing Order. It says that when you speak on an issue and you made a reference, you must provide a proof. So I want to ask that, let's say you don't have the proof at that meeting, can you provide a proof later on, or they request you to provide the proof at the sitting before that can be accepted, or what? So that is my question.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Honorable Raphael, should we take them? And okay, let's take the second one. Honorable Raymond, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Okay, thank you very much, Honorable. My question is, the Honorable, and when Mr. Raphael was presenting, he said when you want to speak or you want to make a reference to an honorable member who just spoke, or when you want to mention an honorable member's name, or address a honorable member in the house, you should at least mention the person's name with maybe the constituency he's coming from or that. So the question is, if you don't know the name of that honorable member, how then do you address that honorable? And the next question is, in colleges, we do have these standing orders, point of order, point of correction, point of information, and other stuff. So I want to ask, in the parliamentary setting, do we also use the same standing orders? That's the point of order. We have a symbol to using that point of information and point of correction. That is what I want to ask. Thank you very much.
All right, you are welcome. Honorable Raphael, kindly take these first two so that we can move on to the next.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with the last one.
Okay.
Yes, we have order, putting somebody to order, but we don't use those symbols. I think I know the symbols that you're talking about. Where point of order, you raise your hand and then you shoot a blow. Point of information with one hand, point of correction with two fingers, but it's not parliamentary in our setting. So that's why I made the provision that you rise up, you cut the speaker's eye, the speaker will call you to give your point of order, or you pass it through your whip and then gets to the leader, and then it can be taken. And then on the first one, that when you don't know the person's name, how do you do? So you can just refer to the person as the honorable member because you don't know the name. In the national parliament, most of their names are displayed on their tables. So it is sometimes easy to just see the name or by their constituency. But since we will be meeting for the first time, you may not know everybody. You can just refer to the person as the honorable member, and it should suffice. And then on under 82, you'll be debating on a topic or something, and then you want to make reference. So you said that you are making reference to a quote from maybe Ghana Web. You should be able to tell when Ghana Web published it and then even the website address of Ghana Web. But where you are not able to provide that, then it becomes a conjecture. It can't be verified. But if it is a book and you have the book title, the name of the title, and then you give it out, that one it can be verified by somebody even here and there. So once you don't have any reference at all, don't even bring it in the first place. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Godson Goli, if I had your name right, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. Good evening, honorable members.
Good evening, honorable.
My question is just a short one. Earlier on, he made mention of two speakers. I mean, I'm thinking with national and then the regional. I just want to know the distinction between the two. If there's going to be two speakers in the house, maybe for the national and then the regional speakers, please. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So I think with that one, I can even answer that. It is when we run regional programs. Now, the background is that there were years when we have regional houses. So when you come to Greater Accra had a house and it had a whole structure. That is the speakership, the caucus leaders, and the rest with their deputies. And then there was also a period where we ran the program on zones, where we had a northern zone for all the northern regions. We had Ashba for the middle belt. And then we had Virgo for Volta, Eastern, Central, Greater Accra, and Oti. So in a case like that, that is what he was referring to. But even with that case, when we come together as one body, let's say we are meeting in Accra, everyone is coming. It's just one house. So we then select the most active of those leaders to lead that particular engagement. Now, in your case for what we are doing this year, it's one house. So the regional and the zone and the rest will not come to play at all. So it's just one house as it is. I don't know if I've answered. Honorable Goli.
Thank you very much. I'm clear.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Honorable Abdul Fattah Tia, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
All right, GS, thank you for the opportunity. And this Honorable Abdul Fattah Yakub Tia, representing Wali Wali constituency.
Okay.
And I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to Honorable Raphael for such an insightful session. My question is with reference to Order 93, where he mentioned that a honorable member is not allowed to read a speech on the floor of Parliament. I want to inquire, what about a statement? If the honorable member is making a statement, would the honorable member be allowed to read out that particular statement? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's take Honorable Michael Adombila. Your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. Okay, we've lost Honorable Michael. Honorable Roger, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
good evening, sir.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Honorable. Yes, yes, I'm Honorable Roger from MP for Laura.
Okay.
Yes, I want to find out from Honorable Raphael with regard to the marshal nomination or the appointment. As he said, that one to be made available to members. I don't know whether if a member should avail himself for such a role, he or she still holds his original title, if that is the MP, the constituency he or she is representing, or the individual honorable member loses that. That is what I want him to clarify for me.
Okay. All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
So welcome. Honorable Raphael, kindly take these two so that we move on to the next set.
Okay, so thank you. On the first one, reading of statement is in reference to debates. So for statements, you can make, because a statement is a written statement that you have to, on a particular matter that is in the interest of the House. So that one you can read, but the reading of speech here that as I refer to is in reference to debate. That's why I don't read speeches. So that's that. Then on the second one, for the marshal, because on the day you have a role to play, you can't debate, you can't join your caucus to debate or do anything. But I don't lose your constituency or your position as a member of your constituency. You are still a member of that constituency. That brought you to the EC, and then you have been given additional position as a marshal. Just that on the floor where debate is happening, because you'll be ensuring security and those things, you can't join your caucus to debate. That I hope that's clear.
All right. Honorable Omar Mahama, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. Then we go to Honorable Akins. Honorable Omar Mahama.
Thank you so much. Yes, it's a privilege once again to be part of this dedicated session. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you so much. My question is in reference to Order 95, that's interruptions of debate. It is stated clearly that the point at which you can interrupt a debate, that's by a point of order being raised. And I want to seek for clarification. In a situation where an honorable member is putting up the wrong information about you, or maybe probably is misleading the House, not necessarily moving away from the order at hand, but rather misleading the House. Could there be a possible avenue where someone could raise a point of correction in order to bring that honorable member back on track. Thank you so much. I duly submit.
All right. Thank you very much. Honorable Akins Armstrong, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
All right. Thank you very much, GS. Honorable Raphael Kumaku, thank you very much as well. My issue is with conflict resolution.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I didn't hear anything about that, and I would like to know more, because I would not. I would want to know what to be done if something like what happened in the parliament, that Carlos Ahinkra was running away with ballot sheets. What will be the process of handling such situations? Thank you very much.
All right, sure.
Presenting the good people of Iowa Central.
All right. Honorable Raphael, let's hear from you. Kindly address these two so that we can continue.
Thank you very much. So on the last one, as the standing order says, yet to come out with modalities and then how the selection, election, and everything will be done. So these things will be captured when YEC bring out its procedure or guidelines on those things. So be rest assured that if something like that happened, there will be a way that it will be resolved. And then on the first honorable members question on order 95, that's the interaction when somebody is misleading the house. Still, if the person is misleading the house, you can correct the person by the point of order. So once you rise and catch the speaker's eye, then you draw the speaker's attention that the honorable member is misleading the house by providing or putting out this ABCD information, which is not correct. So it is done. You know, in the training colleges or the universities, they have different symbols for that. Point of correction is different, point of order is different, and point of information is different. But here it is point of order. Thank you very much.
All right. Let me ask Honorable Armstrong this question for clarity. Honorable Armstrong, if you can hear me, are you referring to general discipline within the house, as in individuals staying in line, or you are referring its reference in particular to the processes that leads to election of speaker and the rest, where maybe someone
yes. Thank you very much. Yes, I was trying to say that when there's a conflict amongst us in the house,
okay,
how would it be resolved? Okay. Then I brought in secondly what happened in the national parliament concerning elections when Carlos Ahinkra also stole what's the name, a ballot paper, and was trying to run away with it. In that situation, what should be done?
Okay. So, Honorable Raphael, I think what he's asking is if there is a misunderstanding on a subject in the house, how is that handled? And then the second one have to do with, I don't know if what Honorable Collins did could be counted as an act of indiscipline. And for that matter, is it the Privileges Committee that will have to look into it and then address it also? Honorable Raphael, I will wish if you could come back again on this one.
Thank you very much. So on issues of general discipline, it is in levels. If it is within the caucus have a way to handle it. That's why they have groups, they have leadership. Then when it is a general discipline issue, somebody raised the issue, then immediately the speaker will refer that issue to the privileges committees to sit on it and then bring out recommendation as to what to do. That is how the standing orders has structured it. But on the issue about, example about Honorable Carlos Ahinkra, that's a different matter altogether. And that one borders on election of the speaker and what happened. So if you look at it, after that incident, leadership of both caucus have to meet that night and then take a decision on what to do going forward. So that's why I'm saying that when it is
Okay, so I think we've lost him. Honorable Raphael, can you hear me? Honorable Raphael, can you hear me? Hello, Honorable Raphael, can you hear me? Okay, so what he was saying was that if it's relative to, let's say, what happened with that of Honorable Carlos, it was the leadership of the House that later met to take a decision regarding what has transpired. So in that same case, if we have a situation like that also, then the leadership of the House from both purposes will also decide on what to actually met out to or reach an agreement on what to do with such an honorable member. But for general discipline within the caucuses, that is why the leadership of the caucus is there. But if it comes to the main house itself, then if there's an act like that, I think the privileges committee is always available to look at that as well. So thank you very much on that. Honorable Jesse Peter, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. We have Honorable Raphael back.
Yes, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So Honorable Jesse Peter, your hand is up.
Okay, yes, thank you very much for this opportunity. My question is on Order 13, selection of new youth model parliament speaker when the office of Mr. Speaker becomes vacant. And when Honorable Raphael talking, he made us aware that in a situation whereby the three speakers are not around, what the House is going to do is that they are going to maybe the House may by motion select a member to preside. So, Honorable, my question is that when they are doing a selection, it may be that maybe one member may come from the majority side and maybe from the minority side too. So, with that, is there going to be a voting or voice voting, or they are going to use other process to select other member to preside over be someone different to preside over the House? So, General, that's my question.
Okay, all right. Let's take another. Honorable James Kweku, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Yes, my name is Honorable James Kweku, representing Adenta Municipality. Okay. My question is referring to Order 821. During Parliament sitting, there shall not be raising of hand or clapping of hands. In this case, National Parliament sitting, they have
your voice keeps going back and forth. Can you
okay.
Yes.
Okay. What I was saying is National Parliament, during sitting, they have mic and microphones and bells as well.
Okay.
And in youth parliament, do we have those instruments over there when you give a signal to the speaker if you are ready to speak?
Okay. All right. So let me answer that one, and then Honorable Raphael will take the other. So what we do is we use actual microphones. So during a sitting, there are several microphones in the chamber. If it's up to you to then just give a signal, and then the microphone is brought to your end. I think so far, the region where we have a chamber for such moot sittings or mock sittings is in Kumasi. That is Tech, where they have the actual parliamentary setup for such sittings. And I think for that also the price is moderate. We used it last year. But aside that, the other meetings we've had, we use microphones instead. So that is what we will be using this time around as well. So Honorable Raphael, you can come in with the first one, and then we take the rest of the questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So the standing orders is clear on what to do. He said by the clerk will take the seat and by a motion, a member, I said the House may by a motion select a member to preside. That's what the standing order is saying. The absence of the Speaker and the two deputies, the House by a motion select a member to preside. So if it happens that two people are nominated from both houses, then they go through the process of selecting one of them to preside. That's how it is.
Okay. All right. Honorable Gideon Insia, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
All right. Thank you very much, GS. Please, can I be heard?
Yes, you are audible. Proceed.
All right. So my question, I am Gideon Insia. Sorry for not introducing myself. I'm Gideon Insia, representing Tano South constituency. Going through the standing orders, I came across something which looks a bit worrisome to me. And during my previous engagement, I've realized that there are points in time where you may find the speaker being biased. When you read order 20, paragraph 5, it says that he or she exercises unquestionable powers and discretion on issues that come into deadlocks or for the order of the House. That means that in such issues, the speaker is unquestionable. And I would want to ask that, is there any means that we can put the speaker in order? Because I've tried to find that in the standing orders, but I didn't see it. In cases the speaker himself or herself is not in order. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for your question. Honorable Joseph Wani, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Thank you, GS. Good evening to you, honorable members. My name is Honorable Joseph Wanekwele, member for Wa Central Constituency.
Okay.
My own clarity, I want Honorable Raphael to clarify this. I think somebody asked a question on the concerning the marshal, as whether an honorable member will fulfill his or her original vision as a youth model parliamentarian when that person becomes a marshal. And he was like, the person will not be able to in the debate. So the question is, at that instance, if, for instance, I'm representing Wa Central constituency and I became the marshal, it means that if I have something to read during parliamentary sitting, is there a way I can do it, or I'll not just have the chance to do it at all? Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome. So, per what he mentioned, on the days of the meeting, the functions of the marshal is usually to maintain security. And for that matter, you are usually far from even where you are within the chamber. However, you have a very different function. So you will not be able to join the debate and then the sitting as it is transpiring. All right. So what we advise is the marshal ideally is not supposed to be a member of the program, as in a representative of a constituency or a district or maybe even a diplomat. Unless in critical cases we've gone and we don't have a representative, and those debating on that day, that particular individual is not part of those debating on that day. That is where, in most cases, we can have that particular individual serving as the marshal of the house. But ideally, the marshal is not supposed to engage in the debates of the house. So that is it with that. That is it with that. Honorable Raphael, kindly take the first one.
Thank you very much. I think the first one is on the speakers, whether the speaker will be biased
Yes.
or biased. But standing orders are clear that the speaker cannot be biased. And then you can't put the speaker to order because there's no order to put the speaker to, because the speaker does not engage in debate, the speaker does not vote, the speaker does not contribute to any of the discussions, is to preside. So whatever you bring is what the speaker rules on. So you can't put the speaker to order. But in a case where the speaker take a decision or make a judgment and then you disagree, then you come with a substantive motion which have to be accepted by the speaker and then put on the order paper, and then it can go for debate again, and then a voting will be done on it. That's the only way that I can challenge the speaker's decision. Aside that, on the floor of parliament, there's no provision that allows members to put the speaker to order. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Mahami, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. When you are done, we go to Honorable Kojo Yeboah.
Thank you very much. Yes. My name is Honorable Mahami Abdullahi Takuma, YMP for Zabuzogo constituency.
Okay.
And my question is, Honorable GS, I don't know, during parliamentary sittings or during during parliamentary sittings, we all know that we have a discipline committee, and I don't know, as MP, how many times can a member be absent from the Parliament House before facing the Parliamentary Disciplinary Committee, or what actions can a member take before they will invite the member to the Disciplinary Committee? Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take Honorable Kojo Yeboah Otu. Honorable Kojo Yeboah Otu. If you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Speaker,
can you position yourself? Can you turn a bit? Can you position yourself a bit?
I can hear you. Can you hear me too?
Yes, I think it's okay now.
Very well. So the Honorable Russell did answer the question, but I returned, I haven't understood it. How does he the earlier questioner questioning the biasness of the speaker, how does he determine the speaker being a bias? He may suspect the speaker to be biased, but as to whether the speaker is biased or not, you only say it, but you cannot hold the speaker to what you want the speaker to do. Or, well, the order has even indicated to us the speaker ought to be impartial. But mind you, the speaker is coming from a bloc or a caucus. Hence, he may tilt his affection towards that caucus. So the issue of impartiality or biasness, yes, it exists, but what do we do? that is all. I believe the honorable member to understand this is the game, and the more fervent you are, the more forceful you are, may put the speaker on our legs. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Honorable. Let's take one from Honorable. The name is NKP. If you can actually hear me. Okay, Honorable Abdul Salam. If you can hear me, kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, this is Nkwambang Abdel Salam.
It seems your voice is far. Can you increase your tone a bit?
The name is Nkwambang Abdel Salam, representing Samaro constituency. Please, the Secretary, I want you to clarify something. Is this parliament is the same running like the national parliament that we have? Because the question that I'm coming to ask, if I'm a MP representing my constituency and want to contest as a speaker of parliament, am I losing my position as a parliamentarian before becoming a speaker of parliament, or I'm holding the two positions out?
Okay, so Honorable, what is your question? Are you asking that if you are a member of Youth Model Parliament and you, let's say you vie on the ticket of your caucus to as the nominee for their speaker, and you should emerge as the winner, or you win, or you are approved, whatever the process, are you still going to maintain your constituency representation as the YMP for, let's say, Zabzugu, or you are going to lose that one and become the speaker? Is that a question?
Exactly.
Okay, so I think with that, the standing orders is clear on that. If you are to become the speaker via the processes that will be laid, you have to relinquish your constituency representation seat to assume the role of the Speaker of the House. So that is it with being the speaker. You can't be the speaker and still hold your constituency position. So that is it with that. Am I clear on that, Honorable? Okay. So, Honorable Raphael, kindly take the first one. The first person asked a certain question.
Yes.
I think it had to do with being present in meetings and missing meetings and what to do.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much. So, even the one you just answered, for the 11E, the person should read that. It is clear there as you said. So, on the first question, so if you read order 17 and then 18, it talks extensively about that. And then order 30 give the final answer as if a member absent him or herself from sitting for 3 consecutive times, that person's seat is to be taken away. That's what the standing order says. It is clear in order 30C. So if the honorable member have the standing orders with him, he can refer to that. Then order 17 talk about every member shall attend the services of the house unless leave of absence has been given to him or her by the speaker. The leave of absence may be given by the speaker, that's the 2. And then 18 says that any member infringed in this order shall have his conduct referred to the Privileges Committee, and the committee's recommendation shall be presented to the speaker and the program's directorate for immediate and necessary actions to be taken. So that it is clear in 17, 18, and then order 30.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Honorable Freeman, your hand is up. Kindly mute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, GS. And thank you, Honorable Raphael, for such a wonderful presentation so far. My name is Freeman Agbalanyo Salasi from representing the people of Obum Domiabra, Greater Accra. Honorable, I want to ask, per the Order 86, which states categorically that if you want to make a contribution on the floor of Parliament, the Speaker, I must catch you up before you can quickly ask whatever you want to ask. I want to ask, what position should I just put myself to? How should I do that so that the Speaker can catch me up for whatever question that I will want to contribute for the floor of the Parliament?
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right.
Honorable Salamatu, unmute your microphone and let's hear from you.
Good evening, honorable members.
Good evening.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yes, and Thank you to Honorable Raphael for that insightful training. I don't know why my ladies are not talking. My name is Alice Sarfoni Salamotsi, YMP Daboya Makabu constituency. During the presentation, we are kind of okay with what happens when none of the speakers is present and someone have to represent. So when we come to the caucus leadership too, please do we use the same process to elect representatives to man the caucus, or there is another way to elect leaders to represent the caucus leaders in a case where we don't have, or maybe in a case of absenteeism or lateness where we don't have any of the caucus leaders during a sitting? Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Okay, Honorable Raphael, kindly take this up, and then we take the last two, and then bring our meeting to an end.
Okay, thank you very much. So the case of the caucus is quite different because it's a caucus and it's a group decision. Any senior member available can assume the leadership role until the leaders are present to take over. And it happens when you check the national parliament, some of these cases happens. So we see that an honorable member who is not on the leadership bench at times sit in when the leaders are all not available. So any senior member present can take over, and then so the leaders are back. So the issue of a caucus leadership is quite different from what happened with the speaker. Thank you very much.
All right, and then I think it's left with one, the first one. He asked where and how does he position himself in order to catch the eye of the speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. In fact, you can stand even in front, but you may not catch the speaker's eye. So that one, it is the speaker's discretion. That's why in my earlier presentation, I was saying that if you have an urgent matter to address and you think you need to catch the speaker's eye, you can pass it through your leaders. Because mostly anytime the leader, your majority or minority leader rises, the speaker have to call that person to hear what the leader wants to say. It's different from an ordinary member. So if you have an issue and that needs to be addressed immediately, just pass it through the whip to the leader. And then when the leader stands and then the speaker calls the leader, then the leader can refer that, oh, Mr. Speaker, allow Honorable Asimesi of my caucus to make a statement, and it is allowed. So that's also another strategy. Thank you very much.
All right. Honorable Benefit, your hand is up. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. Then we go to Honorable Akudugu, Norbert, and we bring it to an end. Yes, Honorable.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Okay. So Honorable Cancer Prince, and I'm representing the good people of Ayawaso East. Please, I would like to ask this question. In a case whereby the speaker is being biased, can let's say my caucus decide to walk out, or is not allowed?
Okay. All right. So he will answer that. Honorable Akudugu Norbert. Kindly unmute your microphone and let's hear from you. Honorable Akudugu Norbert.
Good evening, honorable members. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Honorable Akudugu Norbert, representing the good people of our Wing constituency.
Okay.
And GS, what I want to know is, in the senior parliament, we all know if any seat declared vacant, they have to go for election in that particular constituency to get someone to represent. And I want to know, in our house, should in case any member or seat being declared vacant in any reason, is that same thing going to happen, that we have to hold another election in that particular constituency to get someone to represent the person, or the house will just move on without such a seat? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So let me answer that. So in our case, I don't think there has been a year where we had exactly 275 in the house. All right, so we operate our house with the numbers we get in a program year. And in that case, if we have a situation where an honorable member needs to drop out or so, we have to move on until the program year has ended. Because if you are bringing in someone halfway, the person will be so confused. So that is different from ours. And that explains some of the adjustments that I spoke of on the first day when we started having interactions about what we do here to allow it to run. If not, and we want to get to 275, we are likely not going to have a program here. So that is it with what transpires here in terms of the numbers. All right. Honorable Raphael, kindly take the question that the honorable member asked so that regarding walkout.
Yes, so thank you very much. Walkout as a form of protest, just like normal demonstration and those things, and their constitutional right that is entitled to anybody. So if you feel that you are not being treated fairly and you want to walk out, nothing prevents you from walking out. So
okay,
that's a simple answer I can give. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Honorable Sapawuni, Salama to last one so that we can end.
Yes, thank you so much, Honorable GS. Please, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello.
You are audible,
Thank
Honorable.
you. Thank you so much. So my question is on the number of speakers. I remember last year Congress, we had issues with people who rise on the floor to make submissions. To understand that we had to send a list to the clerk desk for them to call to know the speakers we recommend to speak in favor of our caucus. So I want to know if it is allowed to arrange that on a certain date to prevent what happened last year, or it doesn't matter, anyone can just rise and then make submissions during a certain.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't know if
Honorable
my
Raphael.
question.
Okay, Honorable Raphael, kindly pick this for us.
Thank you
So
very
that,
much.
Honorable Joseph.
Mostly it is an arrangement with the caucus leaders. So they choose that maybe on this particular topic, 3 people or 4 people will speak, and then they submit their list to the speaker. But if you leave it to the discretion of the speaker can decide that he's taking 2 from this side, 2 from this side, and that nothing can be done about it. So mostly it depends on the situation on ground. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, so
Okay, please, I'm coming, sorry. Thank you for the response, though it is clear, but in this instance, what happened last year was we gave the list out through the leadership table, but still some honorable members, I don't know if it was because they didn't present their names earlier, or they didn't have something to add up to the motion on table. Later, they went, I don't want to use a word that is not favorable, but they ended up standing up to submit their, what will I say, to have their submissions when they are not part of the list we presented. So in this case, what do we do? Because the speaker ended up calling those we didn't give their names out to
okay.
the class table.
So
that was last year's Congress. We are moving to this year. Let that to pass.
So I think that was with that speaker. The speaker was supposed to have gone with what was submitted to him. And then when that list is exhausted, that is where, if there is time, he can then still give room for who will catch his eye and the rest. So that is it with that particular incident. Hopefully the speaker we will all elect or select will adhere to some of these things for us to move on with that. Honorable Jose, your hand is up. Honorable Jose, can you hear me? All right. So again, our meeting is already come to an end, and thank you very much for your time and your contributions and your questions. So there will be other sessions for us to ask most of the questions left. Again, the next time we have the training, the questions will come from the ladies first. So we will list the names of the ladies and open the floor for everyone to ask their question, and then we'll move on to the men. I think we've not had questions from the ladies. Honorable Sarah Kron is here. Honorable Afira Isabella is here. I saw Honorable Kesiwa. It's only Honorable Salama to that asked the question. Honorable Betty is here. Honorable Constance is here. Plenty. Yes. Honorable Francisca, yes.
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 Yes, I support.
Yes. So the next time for gender balance and gender equality, we'll do that. Now, honorable members, thank you very much for your time. Our meeting is ending. However, we have the programs director in our midst, and he would want to pass a word. Honorable Joseph Bwachajimai, if